Okie dokie, everybody. We are going to head over to Yakuza Kiwami, new game. I think the actual title of the run hasn't quite popped up in the on the interval there for some reason. I think it's probably the text extents that are just a bit too small, but it's fine. Don't worry about that. We will sort that out later on. Right, let me just get it onto. Oh wait, hold on. So yeah, we're gonna head over to Yakuza Kiwami by BigNoNo in just a moment. But just a quick reminder for you all, please do remember that we are doing this as a charity event for EveryoneCan. They're a fantastic charity based in Manchester. They help disabled kids get into gaming through use of custom gaming peripherals. We are going to head over to BigNoNo, and he does have two incentives, and neither of them have been met. But we'll sort that out in just a moment, just in case that we need to change when that happens. So, we're going to head over to the run now. And yeah, we'll have the run. Right, just hold on for just a moment. Okay, you're safe.
Okay, hello everyone. Big round of applause for the Wicked Viking doing two runs like that with high level commentary like that. That's not an easy task, so really good job there. I am. Hold on, I've prepared something for this. I am BigNoNo, patriarch of the No family, and I'm here to run Yakuza Kiwami, the game that started it all, or rather, the remake of the game that started it all. This is a remake of the original Yakuza for the PS2. Came out in 2017, shortly after Yakuza 0 came out and won all our hearts over to this fantastic series of games. And yeah, the category I will be running today is new game, new game easy any percent, which basically means we're not going to use any game clear data. We're not going to use any extra items, any DLC items. And it also means we will be running the game on easy, which is a sticking point for some people. But I assure you, despite being on easy, the run itself is not easy. This is a very tense run, and running on easy actually enables a lot of really cool speed tech that I'm gonna show you. So yeah, I hope to convince you that yeah, this run is pretty cool over what I hope will be under 2 hours. So yeah, are we ready with the timer? Time is going to start once I select the difficulty.
Yeah, the time is ready. Just want a quick confirmation on the incentives. When do they end? Do they end at the beginning or the end of the run?
Yeah, so the first incentive I'm gonna need to know like within about 2 minutes of the run, if it went through. The other one can actually wait for the end of the run because it's post game stuff anyway.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. No worries. Just let me know.
All right. So the moment I'll start on go. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So we begin this game in 1995. And we follow a man by the name of Kiryu Kazuma, an up-and-coming member of the Tojo clan, specifically of the Kazama family, who is making a name for himself. And he's here to help this man, Shinji. He's doing a collection from a business gone rogue that owes money to the family. And Kiryu's gonna go in there and sort things out, see why they're not paying the money that they owe. So this begins what is pretty much the most notorious part of any Yakuza speedrun, which is the tutorial. The difference between a good tutorial and a bad tutorial can be something like 30 seconds. The issue is, what we want to do here is, like you see in the bottom right of the screen, the game wants us to hit enemies with certain kinds of attacks a certain number of times, and the way you save time is if the same attacks hits a bunch of enemies, it counts as multiple attacks. So a lot of the tutorial is about grouping enemies together and making sure that you like optimize the amount of attacks you have to use. This, as you see, is not always that easy because they are not always that cooperative. So this is actually a big reset, a big reset point in the run. So you will see people running, not just Kiwami, but most Yakuza games. You'll see people reset on the tutorial a lot. Okay, so that was Tutorial 1. Tutorial 2 is coming up, and Tutorial 2 actually has a whole bunch of RNG to it. So this is a part of the tutorial that teaches us to block, and the problem is that we are at the mercy of this guy for how fast he decides to hit us. That is pretty good, and now he's just stalling. The problem, so there's two elements of RNG to this. One is, oh my god, he's really trying to draw this out. Alright, that was actually really bad. So this attack, this triplet attack, we actually want to see it earlier because it counts as 2 attacks. So if we would have gotten this before and blocked it, it would have actually saved us like waiting for an extra attack. But the game didn't want to give it to us, so what can you do? Alright. So that finishes up tutorial 2. Did we meet the incentive for the Majima cutscenes?
We did not.
We did not.
Unfortunately. We haven't read that one. But the karaoke showcase, what I'll do is I'll extend that one till the end of the run, if that's okay?
Yeah, that can absolutely be done by the end of the run. This is just the first, like, story Majima cutscene, so I had to know if to skip it or not. I'm actually glad, because adding Majima cutscenes, like, we all love Majima, but adding Majima cutscenes in adds, like, 20 minutes to the run, so no one wants that.
Better idea that one hasn't actually met then.
Yeah. I mean, well, for £100 for charity, I'm sure we would have all taken the hit, but, you know, glass half full and all. Either way, now this is kind of a weird addition to Kiwami. This part of the game was not in the original Yakuza. Kiwami has a thing where it likes to tell you the backstory of things that no one would have asked for. So, in the original, and this is in both original and remake, Kiryu has to get, Kiryu is in love with this woman named Yumi who has a birthday coming up, and he wants to, get her a present. And he gets her a ring with her name engraved on it. So this is like the backstory of how he got that ring. I'm pretty sure that no one was playing the original Yakuza thinking, like, well, I wonder what's the story with that ring. I really want to know, like, the story of Kiryu going down to the jewelry store and getting a ring. But there you go. You got it, even if you didn't want it. And this is why resetting on Kiwami is known as going to get the ring again, because this is, like, the part where you go, oh man, I can't believe I have to do this whole thing again. Luckily, for reasons that I'll explain soon, we actually don't have to repeat this part specifically that often anymore, but I'll touch more on that in Chapter 2. At any rate, that man that you saw right there who bumped into us, Tsuboi, he stole the ring from us, so we're gonna have to take it back. This whole sequence is just people telling us, oh yeah, that guy's a legendary pickpocket. He robbed a lot of people. He robbed me. He robbed that guy. So yeah, we are doing a public service by flushing this guy out. All right. So Tsuboi tries to hide behind these vending machines. By the way, that's how you get the out of bounds in this game. So this game does have an out of bounds. It is sadly not really useful for the speedrun, but if you if you angle yourself correctly between Tsuboi and the vending machines there, you can actually go out of bounds. So that's a pretty neat thing that some people have discovered a while back. But yeah, Tsuboi, 90% of the time, he just stands there and lets you grab him. 10% of the time, he's going to be a lot more troublesome. So let's see which one he gives us this time. Alright, he moved, but he did let me grab him. Alright, that's fine. That's a well-behaved Tsuboi. Tsuboi is one of many enemies who usually beating them is super, super easy. And really straightforward. And then, like, very rarely they will behave differently, but that different behavior will completely, like, lose you 10 seconds or something, which is unfortunate. And usually if this happens this early, then you will usually reset, because this run is kind of optimized at this point, and you don't want to just lose 10 seconds like that. At any rate, Tsuboi told us that he no longer has the ring for somehow, in the very small amount of time that it took for us to chase him, he already managed to pawn it off and buy lottery tickets with it. So we're here at Abisu Pawn trying to get the ring back. And the pawn shop owner doesn't believe us that it's ours. And so, because we spent all our money getting the ring, we are forced to ask for money from our young associate here, Shinji, who we helped before, who gladly just hands us 120,000 yen. Good guy, Shinji. So now we go back into Abisu Pawn, but as we will soon find out, 120 isn't enough, because the dastardly pawn shop owner has decided to, he sees how desperate we are, and he has decided to increase the price to 150, so we're actually going to have to ask Shinji for more money, which is even more unfortunate. But here's Shinji, already made it to the other side of the block, and very willing to give us 30,000 yen. Which is nice. Very nice of Shinji. Nice young man. But going back to Abisu Pawn, it turns out that the owner actually saw the engraving of Yumi's name on the ring, and he said he doesn't want to get in trouble with the law for selling stolen goods, so he just hands this to us. So basically, Shinji just gave us 150,000 yen for nothing. Which is unfortunate for him, but very fortunate for us, because it will be very useful in the coming chapters, having all that extra money. Alright, so now we are going to get the money we got from Hirata to Kazama, our boss. But not before we get introduced to the two most useless characters in the game, Tamura and Aoki, who are information brokers, but they really never play any important role in this run. It's actually kind of weird to me how much time the game gives them, even though they're completely unimportant, but I'll have more time to complain about Aoki and Tamura later. For now, we have gotten word that so Kiryu works for the Kazama family, but the Kazama family is a subsidiary of another family called the Dojima family. That's like the main family. And we have gotten word that the chairman of the patriarch of that family, Sohei Dojima, has kidnapped Yumi, and Nishiki, our sworn brother, is there trying to help her, but we of course are going to go and see what's up. Hirata, not too happy about us taking his money, is here, and he wants to fight us with his muscle, but we can make short work of these guys with just one charge throw and one normal throw. So at this point in the game, Kiryu is at full power. Kiryu is as if you fully leveled him up during the main game, so That's why we do so much damage at the start here. So, Kiryu goes to help Yumi, but it turns out that Nishiki already, in his rage, killed Dojima. But Nishiki has a sister who's very sick and needs his help, so Kiryu volunteers to do his prison time for him. And yeah, that's how we end up in prison. And as you may guess, killing your family boss doesn't make you too popular in the Yakuza. So
guys, we have
actually
technical
get
difficulties
these assassins sent after us to prison to get rid of us. So this is what this fight is about.
I think, are
and
we back?
Here we're also introduced to the eponymous Kiwami system, which is basically when enemies get like this ominous glow about them. We're not going to really be using that system too much. It's only important because some enemies Kiwami really regenerates their health quite rapidly, so we're gonna want to be able to deny that regen to the best of our ability.
Just a quick shout. The stream has gone very, very loud.
Gone very laggy. Okay, that's
Is there something wrong with your internet or something?
It might be. It might be. Let me try and do some stuff. This I can actually pause here. So yeah, let me see if I can somehow improve this. Hold on, I'll be back in a minute.
It's not an InstaSpeedathon marathon without something going wrong. Right. I think things are working again. I can hear myself and it's not crackling, so...
So yeah.
Thread the needle. Get lost in the web.
Okay. I think we're back. So I think it's okay if you want to carry on.
Yeah,
where you left off.
Absolutely. So, yeah, sorry everyone. Like I said, it's a bit of bad weather here. Okay, so this is chapter 2. This is after Kiryu finished serving his 10-year prison sentence. And as you can see, we're a blank slate. We don't have any abilities learned. So we're going to learn just one ability called Max Crush, which will come very, very handy over the course of the run. And now comes a fight with everyone's favorite lad, Goro Majima. I love how he just goes, oh, when you script the text. This is actually a fight you're supposed to lose. Like, this is supposed to be your tutorial about how you don't have your old abilities anymore and you have to, like, power up from scratch. But we're actually, for the purposes of the speedrun, we actually need to win this. And this used to be a huge reset point, but it's actually gotten to be pretty consistent. So that's the one move you don't wanna see, the purple spin attack. At any rate, I throw this pizza sign at Majima, and you can see in the top left corner my heat move bar, my special move bar essentially is all full now, and yeah, that heat move did a lot of damage. Anyone who played Kiwami casually probably knows, even on easy, heat moves aren't supposed to do this much damage. But it turns out... Oh my god, this is... Oof. That was very, very bad. That was very bad luck there. At any rate, it turns out that after you use Max Crush, that charge throw that I did just there, for some reason, and we don't know why this is, charge throws... Sorry, heat moves after a charge throw do a massive amount of damage, like way more than they're supposed to. And this is something we're going to exploit a lot during the run. Specifically, we're going to exploit it here with Majima to really do a lot more damage than we're supposed to. And this is the entire reason why beating Majima this early on is even feasible. So, despite beating Majima, the game treats it as if we're as if we got wrecked, basically. But the good thing here is that beating Majima gives us a lot of experience points. It gives us 100 ability points, which I'm actually going to use all of them right now. So this is just some leveling up. So if we have any donations, this is a good time to read them out. If there aren't any donations, I'll just explain what I'm doing here. So one of the abilities I got in the other ability tree, in the soul ability tree, is called Grab Mastery. Grab Mastery gives us a lot of heat whenever we grab an enemy at the start of a fight, if we're not in heat mode already. So that's going to be really, really important and hugely beneficial to this run. And here we're basically mostly getting attack and health boosts. But another thing we're getting is an ability that basically really, really increases our damage output when we're at full health. Which means that to be quick, you actually need to be full health, ideally throughout the entire run. So, even though this is easy and like it's really hard to die on easy in this game, you actually do have to be really careful not to get hit at all if you can help it. So, that's one of the reasons why this run is so hectic. It's very high risk, high reward, because we have all these bonuses that give us all these attack boosts, but we can lose them very, very easily. Like, the moment an enemy even scratches us, then that's it. We have to either heal or take the time loss. So, I'm just picking up some... Oh, that's a bad fight spawn. That's a bad fight spawn. I hope that fight spawn can sometimes wait for you right at the top of these stairs, which is a big time loss, so I hope we don't get that. I'll say more about fight spawns and Majima spawns later, but for now, I'm just walking around, just getting some locker keys, which we're going to need later. I think every Yakuza game has these locker keys you can find around Kamurocho, and then you can take them back to the actual coin lockers and get these extra items. We are going to need some of these items for the run. For now, we're again talking to useless character number 2, Aoki. Basically, the game just has us come here, talk to this guy, and then go back to where we came from. It's not really all that clear to me why the Kiwami, and this is mostly due to the original game, Kiwami sometimes just likes to get you to walk around the city and then come back to the place you started from. It's a weird thing, but it is what it is. At any rate, we are now about to fight another serious favorite, Yuya. Yuya is a good guy, but Stardust has been harassed by Yakuza recently, and we look like we're Yakuza, because we were Yakuza, in fact. So we gotta assure him that we're not dangerous by smashing his head into the concrete like that. So that, I don't know about you, but whenever someone does something like that to me, it makes me want to be their best friend. So, like we said, Yuya's suspicions are well founded because at this point Stardust does get attacked by Yakuza. So we're gonna go ahead and help our new friends. Help our new friends deal with these unkind people. What we're gonna do is grab this guy and go to the left and do what I call a heat swing, where you just swing a guy around like that. So what you saw there is already an application of grab mastery. Because the way we grabbed that one enemy and immediately got the heat we needed to... Sorry. And immediately got the heat we needed to do the heat swing, which is a heat move. That's due to grab mastery. So yeah, that takes care of things pretty quickly, and having dealt with these fine folks, we meet our friend Shinji from all these years ago once more. And Shinji's very nice. He's not asking for his 150,000 yen back, which is good because we're going to need them in this next chapter. So right now we're looking for ways to get in touch with Kazama, our old family boss from before prison times. And the way we're going to have to do that is by meeting him in the Tojo family HQ. Tojo clan HQ. Which, if you've been following, we did go to prison for killing one of their leading family patriarchs. So we're not too popular around here. So we're gonna need to be pretty stealthy. So the game asks us if we want to identify as Kazuma Kiryu or write a fake name, so obviously fake name is the way to go. And this whole sequence is about us getting something called a mourning band, so we are identified as funeral staff and can go to a staging area of the funeral where we can talk to Kazama in peace. So you would have thought that Yakuza Kiwami would just let you find the mourning band out here, but there's actually this weird sequence where this guy comes up to us and he's like, "Oh, you found my mourning band," and then you have to go in and he gets fired, and then we talk to him again, and then we get the mourning band. Again, why the game felt the need to make this so convoluted, I have no idea, but Yakuza works in mysterious ways, I suppose. Alright, so, like I said, talking to this guy again. And we are about to get the mourning band now. By the way, you'll notice that sometimes... Actually, I'll point this out later, because I wanna have an example. There is some movement tech to this game. But I'm going to point it out when I actually use it. So, coming up here, we're going to get into a fight with this guy, who's from a group called the Omi Alliance. The Omi Alliance in the Yakuza storyline is the Tojo clan's big rivals, like they're the other big Yakuza organization in this world, and it is kind of weird that you would have one of their people here. So we're gonna just wonder what that's all about. And here's Shinji meeting us in the designated location. Shinji is a really nice guy, but I'm going to actually do this to him. Oh, he didn't fall. Usually when you run like that, you knock Shinji to the ground, and I know it's terrible because, you know, he's a nice guy, he helps us with money, he's a good lad, but man, is it funny when you drop him to the ground like that. But that didn't happen this time, sadly. That's marathon luck, I suppose. Alright, this is another small tutorial about the game's first-person mode. You can actually look around in first person whenever you want. And we're going to need to look at these portraits. And nicely enough, Yakuza Kiwami actually offers mouse support. So I'm actually doing this bit with the mouse. So if you're wondering how my controller aiming is that smooth. That's the reason. We're actually going to use keyboard and mouse once more later in the run. But it is generally optimal to play this game with a controller. Alright, that was a pretty slow fight. You generally want all these guys to rush you at once, and then you just get them all with one sofa swing, but that was fine. It's not too big of a time loss. So now begins this long set piece where we fight a staggering amount of people. You generally want to keep your health full throughout this, like everything else in the game, but no such luck. It's fine. We don't really need full health until later in this set piece. So we're gonna run up to these knife guys. This is the only knife guy out of the 5 that we find in this chapter, or in this part at least. One of the only one that doesn't fall to a 3-hit combo. He for some reason has like slightly more HP than the rest of them. And now we're just gonna swing this lantern around and get rid of everyone. So this is actually a good time to talk about fighting styles in this game. So we mainly use 2 fighting styles in the Kiwami run. We use Brawler, which is this style, which is relatively fast. Lots of usage of combos. You can you can deal with a lot of enemies with it. The other one we use a lot is Beast. Beast is very slow, but it's also very powerful. For example, this guy, we're just gonna do one charge throw on him, and that's that. So when you need to move around, you generally want to go to Brawler, but in many fights we switch to Beast because it has all sorts of cool capabilities. Also, it's the only style where we can use Max Crush, which, like I've already said, is a big part of the speed tech of this run. And the thing with Brawler combos, almost all of their damage is concentrated on the last hit, so we're always going to want to hit as many enemies as possible at the same time with the last hit of the combo. So that's why you see me sometimes like moving around a bit, trying to bunch enemies together. Like, let's see if I can get this. No, I just missed it. That's fine. So we didn't get the last hit of the combo on 2 enemies at once. Unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes. So yeah, a lot of the time save in these fights is just getting enemies bunched up together, like understanding how the combos work, how enemy AI works. And right now, these guys are not being very cooperative at all, which is very, very mean of them. Coming up here, we're actually going to trigger a Majima appearance earlier than we want to, just to save some time. Otherwise, you have to beat all these enemies and then go to the door, and then walk back to Majima, which takes more time. The problem is, of course, that Majima is now in the fight, and he's going to harass us a bit. There you go. That's what you want to see. But yeah, we paid that price. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't really have anything to do with this. It's just down to the weather.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about that. I reset the player again, and it's just carry on. Just carry on as normal.
Yeah, sorry everyone. This is just bad luck for all of us. Like it's a super rainy weekend here, and that tends to really screw with the internet connection. All right, that was actually pretty good. That's what you want to see. You wanna get as many enemies at once with the lantern. So that was actually pretty quick. Now Shimano. Shimano is actually a really difficult fight, but with the strength of both Max Crush and having full health, we're actually going to pretty much one-shot this guy. So people might remember that the Shimano fight actually has like multiple phases, and he has this really annoying move where he regenerates a lot of health. We just skipped all of that. That's Max Crush combined with beating Majima and getting all those upgrades early, which is very, very nice.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bear with it again. I think BigNoNo has buffered out. Hold on a moment, guys. Oh, hold on a moment. You there? Hold on a moment, everybody. The stream seems to have gone offline for some reason. So we're just gonna have to bear with it. Oh, by the way, what's the Twitch name for this game, by the way? Because I can't seem to find it and I forgot to change it earlier. Right. We're just gonna have to bear with us for a moment, everyone. Sorry about this. So they're on a BigNoNo. He's just restarting his router at the moment, guys. So just bear with us for just a moment. We do apologize for the what's going on here. We unfortunately don't really have much control over this. These things do happen every now and again. But as soon as BigNoNo is back, we will continue with the Yakuza run. With Yakuza Kiwami. As soon as he's back. Meanwhile, I think this is probably a good chance for us to just advertise, of course, that we are doing this as a charity event for EveryoneCan. We are, of course, raising money for everyone. Oh, hello. I think we are raising money for EveryoneCan, and if you would like to donate, the link is in the panels down below. If you click on the EveryoneCan logo down in the panels below, you will get the you'll get to the Tiltify link, which we are using to raise money for InstaSpeedathon 2021, and that is, of course, all proceeds through that will go direct to the charity. But yeah, it looks like things are back because we've got a Samsung advert. So I'm just going to go over to the interval, let the ad play, and then we're going to come back as soon as possible. Okay, we are back, and it's safe for you to start. Go.
Cool. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for that, everyone. Luckily, we do have a bit of a cushion because my time estimate is actually based on the old route, which was minutes longer than this, so hopefully that makes up for it.
Hopefully, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So basically this whole sequence here that you're seeing is me doing some setup for later in the run. But just to continue what I was saying about fight spawns, they're gonna be all over from now on, especially for me. This game specifically loves to like put a lot of fight spawns in my runs, and if you think I'm joking, there have actually been like other Kiwami runners who've watched my streams and were like, why are you getting so many runs? What's going on here? I have no idea. The game just really likes me, doesn't want me to PB because it wants me to keep playing it over and over, I suppose. But yeah, fight spawns, we wanna not have any optional fights in the run, obviously, because those add a lot to the running time. And we just ran out of stamina. We're actually getting a stamina upgrade right now. And fight spawns, we have several ways of dealing with them, which I hope to demonstrate over the course of the run. One of those ways you've already seen, and you're about to see it again, because we got another fight spawn here. If you talk to an NPC when a fight spawn is close enough to you, it actually despawns the fight spawn. And that's usually how we deal with most fight spawns. There are other methods, but we'll see if we have any need for them over the course of the run. Either way, Kiryu comes back to Serena and talks to Reina here, who we've seen also in the opening sections. And we're looking basically for a woman by the name Mizuki, who runs a pub called Eris. So, sorry, just had to see if there's a fight spawn there. So Reina advises us to go around the pubs in the city and ask them if they've heard of like another pub called Eris. Maybe they know where it is. And we're actually headed to one of those pubs right now, Bacchus, known more as Bantam to people who've played the later games. And here we meet Haruka, this young girl who is probably known to people familiar with the series. And as soon as we pick Haruka up, we see these very mean people actually abusing a dog, abusing a puppy, which we're not gonna have that. So we're just gonna go at these people with a big old bike, because we do not approve of animal abuse around here. Having done that, Haruka wants to feed the dog, and this is the reason for our trek from before, where we picked up the water, the dog food, and the plate, which we are all going to use now. And this basically saves us going out to get these items now. So it was a small detour before to save us a much bigger detour now. What? Did I? Okay. Egg on my face, I actually. As you say, this never happened before. I actually sold off the items in the pawn shop, but I actually forgot to pick up the items. So, that's very unfortunate. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy the iron plate and the Elder's Belly Warmer. The Elder's Belly Warmer is a very important item that makes us a lot more powerful when we fight large groups of enemies. And the bowl we just need to feed the dog. So, yeah, that's what you get for not following your notes and being nonchalant in the run. Alright, so now we're gonna actually go back to Haruka. And now we can actually end this whole sequence. Okay. So Haruka collapses, and we get a call from Date to come to Serena, which we are going to do now. Thankfully, during this section, we don't have any random fight spawns or sub-stories on the map, so we can move pretty freely. We do have scripted fights, but the route we're going to take is optimal in that we only have one fight at the end of it. If you go another way to Serena, you have to fight another group of enemies. Alright, and these guys, very easy to take care of. I'm actually going to use the heat swing that I used in the Stardust fight 2 chapters ago. And usually you can just heat swing the guy in the middle. Sometimes he tries to get away and you have to grab one of the other guys, but he was very cooperative this time. He was just standing there and letting me grab him, which is very nice of him. One of the things you have to learn early on when running this game and running Yakuza games in general is which cutscenes are skippable and which aren't. Because at least in this game, there's really no rule that can tell you about everyone. You kind of just have to remember which ones are skippable and which aren't. So Haruka, it turns out, knows where Aris is. It's at the top of the Millennium Tower, so we're gonna head there right now. But before that, you are going to see me do a wonderful magical trick, and whoop, I'm on the other side of the street. So what happened there is a lot of the triggers for events in Kiwami are not purely proximity based. They're like on a horizontal or a vertical line. So by walking on the other side of the street, I save a bit of time and still get this trigger that teleports me to the other side. So that's a cute little time save. Doesn't save a whole lot of time, but it's still neat, in my opinion. Okay, so we had a pretty good chapter so far. We didn't get hit? Question mark? No, we didn't. And this is going to be really useful for this next fight. So in the upcoming fight, I'm actually going to use a strat that can save a lot of time. It's kind of risky, but it saves a lot of time over the alternatives, and it only loses a little bit if it goes wrong. So let's see what sort of luck we get here. So now we're fighting this guy Hayashi from the Omi Alliance, who also wants Haruka. What we're going to do is we're going to grab Hayashi and charge throw him. Alright, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. The ideal scenario for this fight is that none of Hayashi's minions hit you and you stay full health. If you do that, then Hayashi loses a lot of health when you charge throw him, and then you can just take care of them with the sofa along with the other guys. If you don't get that, then you need to spend a few extra seconds using the heat move I just used there at the end. But I do recommend going for it, because if this strat goes the way it's supposed to, it saves 10-15 seconds, and if it doesn't, you only lose 3 over the alternative, so it's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. So at this point in the run, we're looking for clues about Mizuki, about whatever's going on, why everyone wants to get Haruka. And for that, Date recommends that we go visit a legendary information broker called the Florist of Sai, also known as Kage if you've played the English PS2 version, but shh, we don't talk about that. But before that, we need to do some chores that are going to help us throughout the rest of the game. So this is any %. We don't have to do any optional content, but we are going to do this sub-story, which is going to consist of just this one fight. This guy wants us to pay him to walk past him in the street. We are not willing to do that, and so we must fight. This is another one of those fights that can sometimes just go wrong, but he was actually very cooperative, very nice, so we didn't lose any time there. It's actually really funny because he makes this speech about how I'm so touched by how you stick to your principles, and it plays this dramatic music, and it's just like a very, very strange sub-story. So what we got from that fight is an item called Leech Gloves. Leech Gloves are actually a pretty cool, pretty useful item. That definitely have their utility in a casual playthrough. However, in the speedrun, we don't actually use them for their use value. We use them only for their exchange value. We are going to sell off the Leech Gloves to this gentleman and get 500,000 yen, which is going to be very useful over the course of the run. I am also going to unequip the equipment we have on us for reasons that hopefully will become evident shortly. And one more thing you have to remember to do around here is you need to remember to pick up this locker key. But yeah, all this stuff is part of the game's money route. We actually need a fair bit of yen throughout this run. So we have all these methods of building it up. Alright, so here we meet the florist. The florist is willing to exchange information with us, but he doesn't want to exchange it for money. He actually wants Kiryu to fight in his underground Colosseum. And that's the reason why we had to unequip some stuff before. You can't enter the Colosseum Fights with any equipment on you. So this is actually going to be really complicated. We're going to charge throw this guy and use a heat move on him. So the Colosseum Fights, obviously, these are very well-trained fighters. These are very intense fights, and the techniques we use to deal with them just get more and more complicated. So this guy, for example, we're going to charge throw him and then use a heat move. And I hope you're still following, because this one is actually the most complicated of the fights against everyone's favorite, Gary Buster Holmes. We're going to grab Gary Buster Holmes, charge throw him, and then use a heat move. I actually make this joke pretty much every marathon run or exhibition run I do of this game. It actually the joke used to hit a bit different, because it used to be that the fight against Gary Buster Holmes was a bit different. We used to have to do 2 charge throws and then a heat move. So that's like a huge variation, obviously. But in the new route, we just do more damage, and that saves time, which is actually fortunate, because Gary can sometimes deny the second charge throw, and then that causes a lot of problems. So we don't have to deal with that anymore. At any rate, having finished off the Colosseum Fights, we get a message that our friend... I didn't mean to talk to this guy. We get a message that our friend Date is being actually attacked by some purgatory denizens. So we're gonna go up there and see what's up. Alright, so we have to fight this group. I begin this fight by going backwards, actually. Grabbing one of these guys and doing a heat swing. Why go back? Why grab one of the guys behind you instead of one of the guys in the front? It's purely because I find that to give you more consistent positioning of the enemies. You don't it's not that important, but I do find that it helps a bit. And at this point, we talk to Date and we find out, and get used to this because this actually happens a lot over the course of the run. Haruka has been kidnapped. She's been kidnapped and she's being held in the batting cages over at the northwestern part of Kamurocho. So we're gonna go there and see what villain has taken our girl. This is also the part where we equip everything back. You don't need this equipment for the Purgatory fight, but you do need it for this one. And it turns out the kidnapper is everyone's favorite. Sorry, I need to delay that. Everyone's favorite lad, Goro Majima. Yeah! So, we're gonna handle Majima simply by stabbing him like so. This lowers him to 1 HP, but like many bosses in this game, Majima doesn't know he's defeated until you like hit him again. And okay, that's weird. The bat, I usually pick up that bat, but it actually like got out of bounds, so I couldn't use it. That was strange. I've never seen that before. And bats are actually pretty useful in this game, unlike many other Yakuza games, so we are going to use them to the best of our ability. And that ends that fight. And now we get a whole bunch of cutscenes. So actually, if there's any donations, this is a good time to read them out.
We have no donations, but I'm assuming this is a good time, therefore, for us to advertise the donations out, shall we?
Definitely.
Yeah, if you do, guys, excellent. So if you guys do want to go and donate, if you click on the Everyone Can link down in the panels below, that will take you to the Tiltify link. I'll also post it in the chat for you all as well. So you can go and donate there. We do have another incentive, which is the karaoke showcase for this run, and we'll be showing it at the end of this run. It currently has £5, but we need £100 to showcase it. So please, please, please go and donate if you want to go and see that. If you want to see that at the end of this run, please do donate. As it all goes to a fantastic cause. Everyone Can are a fantastic charity who help disabled kids get into gaming using custom gaming peripherals. I just want to also say we are 9 followers away from 100 followers on the main InstaSpeedathon channel, which is absolutely fantastic. So let's get to 100 followers. I want that to happen today. So please, 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 if you haven't followed already and you are watching the marathon, please do consider following, because we are a great community here, actually, if I must say so myself. We are a very friendly community, a very friendly marathon, and I'm sure that all those who have taken part today will absolutely, hopefully, will have enjoyed it. And hopefully everyone's enjoyed watching it as well. So please, if you can, please do follow, because it does help out a lot for the channel as well. And please, the biggest thing, of course, is to please do consider donating to the cause by going to the Tiltify link.
Definitely. I can attest that this is actually not my first time on InstaSpeedathon. It's my first time as a runner, but last year I commentated for Apox's, my good friend Apox's Katana Zero run, and I was really, just really surprised by how friendly and cool everyone is. Do follow this channel. I really would like it if a lot more people became aware of this marathon. Yeah, that whole section there was some mandatory training we have to do. Not a lot to say about that. The important thing is, at this point, this is a weird chapter in that it kind of just has you go around doing not exactly side content, because this is main story content. This isn't optional stuff, but it has you do stuff that doesn't really relate to the main story of the game. So basically, we got contacted by one of the florist's guys who told us, hey, the florist needs some help. So we came here, and it turns out that the florist's son is in some trouble. And we're just going to go down to the batting cages and see what's up. And again, useless character number 1, Tamara, is here just to tell us the exciting story of how he pretended to be dead, just so he can go undercover and gather more information. Not important to the story in any sort of way. I also want to continue to complain about these characters because in the original game, like in the PS2 Yakuza, Tamura is actually like visibly significantly older than Aoki. He's an old man. He has gray hair. It's very obvious that he's like the older like mentor in among the two. In this game, for some reason, Aoki, if anything, looks a bit older than Tamura. So I really don't know what the motive was behind that that choice to redesign the characters, but there you go. Anyway, so we want a favor from the florist. That's why we're helping him. So what better way to win someone's favor than to fight his son, and not only fight him, but just like stab him in the gut. That's just how it goes in the world of Yakuza Kiwami. So now that we are done with Takashi, we're actually attacked by his old gang, and the way we deal with these guys is we do this heat swing. Then I'm gonna take care of the B-King's minions with some brawler combos. And yeah, another 2 brawler combos also finish off the king himself, the Burger King. Alright, it's actually, there's possibly a really bad Majima spawn coming up. Let's see if it happens. No. But there is a really bad fight one there, so I'm actually going to go the other way. So this is... yeah, this is something that you have to do a lot during this run. You have to, like, know where potentially really bad fight spawns will be, and you need to just prepare yourself to deal with them. Luckily, we haven't gotten hit yet in this chapter, so we're full health, which is good because we need full health for this next fight. So, turns out Takashi's girlfriend is the daughter of the head of a small Yakuza family, and he's not too happy about this, so he sends... oh, that's not good. That's really bad, actually. Getting hit there is really not what you want to see. That's fine, though. We'll deal with it. So, yeah, it turns out Takashi's son, his girlfriend, is the daughter of this Yakuza boss, and he sent his goons to get her back to him. And we are just going to fight them off and clarify to them that they need to leave poor Takashi alone. Because, as everyone knows, if you physically assault a criminal gang, that generally, you know, gets them on your side and gets them to leave you alone. That doesn't have any bad consequences. At any rate, having done with all of that, we are now we now have to go back to the florist just to report that the job is done. And this is actually the last time that we see Purgatory. Or rather that, yeah, it kind of depends what you call Purgatory. I sometimes refer to this whole park as Purgatory, but really Purgatory is the, like, underground casino / fighting ring / gambling place / whatever else is going on here. This part. So yeah, this, as the game calls it, the red light district. This is also a good time to take a bit of a peek to the side there and make sure that you picked up the locker key, because you can very easily forget that locker key. Let me tell you. All right, so we report back to the florist, who gives us this Goemon, this dagger that is going to be very useful in the later parts of the run. And yeah, that's it for that. And now we're going back to Serena. And this actually is going to bring up one of my pet peeves with this game, because we already have the goal of going back to Serena, But now we're actually going to get a call from Reina, who's like, "Hey, Kiryu, could you come to Serena? I was already going to Serena video game. Why did you have to tell me to do it twice?" And this isn't the only time this happens. Like, there are multiple times over the course of the game where you are told, "Hey, go to location X," and then a character calls you and is like, "Hey, can you come to X?" But that's just my pet peeve. So yeah, we are gonna go to Serena. Like I said, this plot-wise, this chapter is kind of weird in that it doesn't really relate to the main plot. We're basically doing some character development for some of the characters. So the first part was the florist, and the second part is actually going to be Date here, our detective friend, who was supposed to meet his daughter, but got drunk and fell asleep and didn't go. And we decide to go off and see if we can find Date's daughter still around. And turns out that we can, and that she's up to no good. No good. Things that I can't really say on a family-friendly stream. But trust me, they are bad things. And yeah, so it turns out that Date's daughter has fallen with a bad crowd, and her boyfriend Shota is... Hold on, this is actually a good time to upgrade our stamina again. So yeah, her boyfriend Shota is getting her to do some nasty stuff, and we want to talk to this young man and see why he's doing all of that. So now we're going to go to one of my favorite areas of Kamurocho, the Champion District. It's really a really cool design for that area, but we are going to have to watch out for a fight spawn here, because there's always a fight spawn at the entrance there when you get to this point. And you kind of need to watch out for what kind of fight spawn it's going to be, and deal with it accordingly. Because some fight spawns are, like we saw there, a group of characters who see you and try to attack you. Sometimes it's a single person, sometimes it's like a street harassment event where you have to actively engage with it in order for it to trigger a fight. Those we like the most, because we don't need to actively dodge them, we just need to not engage them ourselves, and that takes care of that. 10-8, turns out that Shota is no longer in the Champion District. He actually works in Stardust, right next to Serena. So we actually could have... this is another one of those cases where the game sends you to like the other side of the map, and then it turns out you could have just walked across the street and gotten to the place you needed. 10-8, Shota, we confront Shota, and he decides to send his goons on us. So Date and Kiryu are gonna have to deal with them. And we're going to deal with them by basically swinging a big sign around and just knocking everyone down, which is a fun Yakuza staple. I'm gonna finish off these guys with brawler combos because they don't have that much HP left. I'm gonna actually use this sign on this guy. This guy can be a bit... He likes dodging your attacks a lot. But he is going to get taken care of very shortly. Not a great fight out here, but it's fine. Could have been worse. Luckily, we don't need to be full health for the final fight of this chapter. So, another cool thing to take note of. We do need to be careful never to lose health, however... we do get healed between chapters, so if you take damage on the last fight of a chapter, it's not that bad. You'll get that health back for the beginning of the next chapter. And luckily for this fight, it's just not that important to be full health. Everything still works the same on partial health as well. Alright, so this is where we have the final confrontation with Shota. It's going to be pretty simple here. Oh my. We are still alive though, right?
Yeah, we're still alive. All things are good.
Alright, let me just narrate this then. So I've masterfully taken care of Shota. No, we're I do want this healing item here. So yeah, Shota got taken down with one knife heat move, and the rest of his goons with brawler combos. This is actually a very simple fight. And that's the end of that.
Every cookie here at Left Twix is extra crisp.
Well, everybody on stream, you get to see whatever chocolate these guys are making, because we're up on an advert for like another 10 seconds, so just bear with us for a moment. I do apologize for this. Oh dear.
I can say as someone who's run this game a lot, in this particular section, you're better off looking at the chocolate. And we actually got caught up by a fight spawn. Really.
Yeah, back on your stream.
Back on your stream. All right. So you probably caught the tail end of that. That's how we deal with fight spawns if you are forced to fight them. Like, I really had no way of avoiding that fight spawn that wouldn't lose more time than just doing the fight, so I just went for it. And the cool thing is, because of grab mastery, we can just grab an enemy in a fight spawn and do a heat swing, and the heat swing takes care of the guy you grabbed and two other guys. So if it's a 3-person fight, that immediately ends the fight, and it makes it's still a significant time loss. You still never want fight spawns on your runs, but if you have to take one, you actually have a fairly consistent and quick way of dealing with them. So that's that's a small comfort, I suppose. At any rate, the story so far in this chapter. So we actually got a message from Nishiki saying he wants to talk to us. So we're going to meet him in Serena later. But you're not going to believe this because this is completely unprecedented. Turns out that Haruka's been kidnapped. Yes, imagine that. So now we are actually going to have to walk around and find out who took her and where. And for that, we are forced to once more seek out the help of useless character number 2, Aoki. You might protest that, like, obviously these characters aren't useless if they give us this information. My point there is that you really didn't need specific characters with this rich backstory designated to them to give this information. Because, like, we go here into this arcade and we just overhear this conversation from those two girls and we know where to go next. Like, you can just do stuff like that. You don't really need to specifically introduce new characters just for that. But at any rate, I'll stop ranting about Aoki and Tamara now. I believe that's the end of them for this run, so we will have no more cause to complain about them, I think. At any rate, we're coming up to the best NPC in the game. This guy tells you, hey, give me some alcohol, and you threaten him, and he says, go away, give me alcohol. And you threaten him again, and then he just says, sorry, little girl, you said? Yeah, I saw her in the park. So he is simply the best, and He does tell us that he saw her in a park, but he doesn't remember which park. So we are going to have to just scour all 3 parks in Kamurocho, looking for Haruka. And sadly, this is one of those cases where we can't just go to the location where we know she's at. We have to actually go to all 3. Excuse me? For some reason that's Taxi didn't trigger. All right. So now we're going to go to the final chapter, to the final park. Sorry, the final chapter is still a ways away. The final park where we meet these men in black suits who have taken Haruka. And we don't know why, we don't know who they are. They're just called Mysterious Organization here. But we are going to go ahead and fight them. So the way we do this is we hit swing this guy. And then we hopefully get his gun before anyone shoots me. Alright, that was mostly good. We got hit there, which isn't ideal, but could have been worse. And then we just use throws on the remaining 2 enemies. So that could have been slightly... No, actually, that was a pretty good fight. Getting hit is not ideal, but it's not a huge time loss. Anyway, at this point in the run, we got Haruka back, and Date makes the actually very good point that, you know, Haruka's been through a lot. She's here looking for her mother. She got kidnapped twice. Which, you know, is unironically very, very traumatizing for a young child to go through all of that. And Date suggests that we, you know, spend some quality time with Haruka, just to, like, calm her a bit, just to bring back some sanity into her life. So, what better place to take a traumatized 10-year-old like this than an illegal gambling house? Kiryu, father of the year, let me tell you. Father figure of the year, I guess. So, we are going to go into this illegal gambling house. I wish I could show you the sequence here, because it's pretty cool, but it would take too long. And I actually want to heal here, because I need to be full health for the next fight. And we need to grab this locker key from the end of this corridor, otherwise we will be in big trouble later. This hall is also very awkward to move through. Alright, so there's a weird, like, I guess, side story here about how Haruka can guess the result of a dice throw. And normally, she's supposed to get all of these right. So here, she got it right. She said even, and the result was even. But for some reason, on the PC version, this doesn't happen on PS4. On the PC version, she can sometimes guess wrong in this part. So let's see if she guesses any of these wrong. So far Haruka is 2 for 2. I'm guessing the result here. Alright, so as you can see by Haruka's different reaction, she was wrong this time. And that's not supposed to happen. We don't know why this happens on the PC version. Doesn't happen on PS4. Like, no idea. I just have no clue why Haruka can sometimes get this wrong. Even worse, back in a few weeks ago, when I was on world record pace, Haruka actually guessed the result, the die throw here wrong 3 times, and it actually crashed my PC. So I really hope that's not gonna happen this time. Seems we're good so far. Seems we're good. So, remember, the narrative is that Haruka actually got all those guesses right before. Like, all the times we saw her guessing wrong, that was just our imagination. But now, she is definitely, like, for real, guessing wrong. And Kiryu's like, what the hell's going on? You're cheating, because the guy actually went away to do something on the side. And it turns out that he did actually replace the dice with fake ones. So we confront him about it, and he is not too happy. So we're gonna just heat swing this guy into his friend, and that takes care of both of them. And, oh, that's nice. And I actually managed to get 3 of these guys with one combo. Beautiful. Really, really good, gambling house fight. I actually have an old PB where I managed to get like 4 of those guys with a single combo, which is really cool. And that was a gold that was very hard to beat. Like it was a really good chapter 7 when I got that. So the reason why I'm so careful in that gambling house fight is that sometimes you can get hit by one of the enemies before you actually have a chance to do the heat swing, and that ruins everything, because then the heat swing doesn't actually take care of the bosses, and the bosses, like the dealer and his friend, are actually really, really, like, they do a lot of damage, and their attacks are very aggressive, so they're very hard to deal with if you don't heat swing them immediately. Alright, so all of our locker key items were just to get this extra yen, so we are selling these items from the coin lockers, and also selling the plate that we used to feed the dog before, just to free up some inventory space. And now we're going to meet Nishiki, but first we have to drop off Haruka at Purgatory. If you forget to do this and you go to Serena, you actually lose a lot of time, which is why my split for this chapter is called Don't Forget to Drop Off Haruka. But now we're ready for the final fight of this chapter, which is going to be in Serena. If we have any donations, this is a good time to read them out.
We've had 1 donation in. I'll just find it now so we can read it out. Let's have a look. It's £5 from Harlan, and there's no comment, no incentives, but thank you, Harlan, for the donation there. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you very much for your generosity. Yeah, so it turns out we find out here that Nishiki also wants Haruka, and we don't really know why. We still don't entirely know why he betrayed Kiryu. Remember, the reason why Kiryu went to jail in the first place is because he actually did the time for Nishiki for killing Dojima. But yeah, so Nishiki basically sends out his goons at us, including this guy Shindo, who really loves swords. If you played Yakuza 2 or Kiwami 2, you've doubtless run into this fine gentleman. And now we are going to start using the Goemon starting in the next chapter. So we just used up the rest of our dagger charges just to get rid of some enemies. And we can finish this fight with some brawl combos. And that's that. Alright, so now Nishiki is on us. He said that he's just going to keep sending guys at us, so we need a place to lay low. And we can't lay low in Serena, because obviously he knows about that place. So here I'm just going to switch to the Goemon and get some extra upgrades. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is Climax Heat. So maybe you've noticed during combat that the heat bar has both blue bars and red bars. And the red bars are what's called Climax Heat. And Climax Heat actually adds like extra oomph to your attacks. So it actually allows for extra damage, extra moves, all sorts of cool things. So that's like one of the main things that we upgrade over the course of the run. Make sure to always get more Climax Heat. Anyway, looking for a place to lay low, we go to Purgatory. And it turns out, and again, you're never going to believe this, but it turns out that Haruka got kidnapped again. So we have to go and get her, which we will do presently. So, in this chapter of the run, you are supposed to, like, go around the city and find clues and find out where, like, all the different gangs are hiding. Luckily, unlike the parks in the last chapter, we can just go directly to where we know the gangs are. So, here we just go directly to the hangout place of the Blue Gang. The Blue Gang is very easy to deal with just one hit swing. The trick is that I need to hit swing one of the guys on the sides, not the guy in the middle. So, I need them to be a bit cooperative. That's not good. That's not good. Please, no, please come back. Don't. Sir, please stop doing that. I don't know why he decided to just run at the wall like that. Either way, that's how that's supposed to go. So, sometimes they will just come at you and you can just grab one of them and it's very easy. Sometimes they decide to, make it difficult. So, that's unfortunate, but we didn't lose a lot of time to that. It's fine. The reason, by the way, why I'm doing that big arc there is I'm actually really trying to avoid the place with the red sign, because that's a sub-story trigger, which, if you trigger it, no joke, it loses you a minute and a half. And at that point, the run is basically dead. So we try to avoid that by any means possible. Like, you never wanna play it fast and loose with that specific trigger. Unfortunate sub-story trigger here. No worries though. So the reason why I went to Pink Street is this guy, because this guy, he just talks to you, says, hey, if you pay me 30,000 yen, I'll give you something good, but I'm not gonna tell you what that thing is. So we just say, oh, okay, sounds interesting. And surprisingly, that's actually going to turn out to be a good idea in just a bit. But before that, we are going to fight the White Gang here. And the White Gang is led by this tall drink of water by the name of Yuji Shiraki. And Mr. Shiraki, what we're going to do is we're going to grab him and we're going to heat swing him. And then we're going to grab a bat from the floor and finish everyone off. I really don't like that you did that. Unfortunate. Now we're going to have to heal again. Alright, so Yuji Shiraki told us to go look for the Red Gang. And let me know if you see a pattern here. And the Red Gang, turns out they hang out in Debola, or however you pronounce it, which is the club where we went to when we were helping... Oh my god, this is a really bad fight spawn. I told you, this game loves me. This game loves me with the fight spawns. But yeah, it turns out the thing we paid 30,000 yen for is access to this illegal weapons shop, which is actually really useful for us. We're going to buy 6 shotguns and 1 handgun, and they are going to be extremely useful through the rest of the run. You have to question the... Oh no, go away Majima, go away Majima. Oh my god. Yeah, sorry about that. Where was I? Yeah, you gotta question a person who just, like, offers people access to an illegal gun shop just walking down the street. But, you know, I'm not a business person. I'm not an illegal weapon salesman. I don't know that business, so I have to assume they know what they're doing. So having taken that detour, we now have a lot of guns, which are going to be very, very useful. And we begin our engagement with the Red Gang with just this one guy who... this is obviously the much easier part of the run. We are just going to plant this guy's head into the floor. Then he points out that the rest of the gang is downstairs. So that is going to be the fight we deal with next. So we're going to confront the Red Gang, and specifically the Akai brothers, who are these two lovely folks here. You always want to take care of one of them in the beginning. I prefer to take care of the bigger one. Because, as you can see, I'm going to start shooting people, like so. I'm actually going to finish this... that's not good. I'm actually going to finish this guy off with a combo, because I want that extra shot. Alright, that's good. So, when you shoot enemies like that, guns generally don't do a lot of damage to bosses, but they can stagger them and cause them to drop to the ground. If a boss drops to the ground, it's a really long animation that loses you a lot of time. And I found that that happens a lot more with, like, the bigger brother than with the small one. So that's why I prefer to leave the small one to deal with later. And here's another instance of the thing I complained about before. We already decided to go back to Purgatory, and then Date called us and told us to go to Purgatory. Why, Yakuza Kiwami, why do you do this to me? But yeah, basically, that whole sequence told us where Haruka has been taken off to. She was taken by a gang called the Snake Flower Triad, based in Yokohama. So if you've played Yakuza 7, Yakuza Like a Dragon, it's the same location. But yeah, we're actually going to go there now. And that's chapter... That was chapter 10. Sorry, that was chapter 8, and now we're going to chapter 9. And chapter 9 is very cool. It's basically just this really, really neat set piece. Really cool part of the game, part of the run as well. So to start off, we're actually going to go behind this guy behind us, and just to get a better angle to shoot everyone from. That wasn't good. That was more ammo usage than I would have wanted. At any rate, this guy I'm actually going to charge throw and not shoot, because he's technically a boss. So you don't do a lot of damage to him with a gun. There's gonna be a bunch of guys coming in. One of them has a handgun. I wanted the handgun because it allows me... These guys love to show off their moves. Yeah, the handgun allows me to take care of enemies quickly, but I was foiled by that one cheeky enemy there. This guy, I could have technically also charge thrown him, but on stairs it's actually really hard to grab enemies, so I prefer to do it like that. That's not what I wanted. I want the handgun. Give me the handgun, please. Alright, that takes care of that. And now I'm just gonna grab a sword and finish everyone else up. Anyone else still around? Okay, cool. So, now the second part of this set piece, I'm gonna heal. I'm gonna equip a fresh shotgun. And I'm gonna hope I'm getting this. That's too bad. You really want to get this chef that's going to be to the left of me, but you don't always get the angle on him. Not really much you can do about that. Just gotta adjust if you don't hit him. These guys I'm gonna shoot, and this guy I'm gonna charge throw. And you can go away, or you can't. You can just dodge my shotgun blast. This video game. Alright, that was a bit of a mess, but it's fine. And now we're actually going to the boss fight of this whole set piece. We are going to fight the head of the Snake Flower Triad, Lao Kalong, who we will deal with thusly. We're going to charge throw Lao Kalong, and then we're going to use a Goemon heat move on him. And now we're going to stomp him a bit, because that gets him up off the ground a bit faster. There, when you see that animation, you're good. And now one hit to take care of his weapon, and another to change to the next phase. And we have exactly 2 vase hits left. We're going to use one of them to destroy his weapon, and the other he blocked for some reason. That can just happen sometimes. But yeah, one more hit, and he's done. And that's chapter 9. Or actually, no, that's not chapter 9, because I still need to go through a section that's probably a lot of people remember not all that kindly, the shooting section. This section can be pretty tough, casually. But luckily, unlike the shooting section in Yakuza 0, you can actually use your mouse to aim in this one, so that really helps a lot. I'm no Overwatch Grandmaster or anything like that, but I can still do a lot better with a mouse than I could with a controller. One thing you might notice is, unlike what you might expect from a shooter, you're actually not supposed to aim at the enemy's heads. You're actually, you do more damage the closer you are to the center of the reticle here, which is interesting. Definitely an interesting mechanic. And yeah, it's very strange, but it's what works in the game. So, this is the second part of the shooting section with this big truck. There's a very specific sequence in which you want to take down these enemies. Let's hope I get all my shots off correctly. No, already missed a few. We're off to quite a start here. And you're going to notice that this truck, strangely, goes translucent every now and then. The disappearing truck, everyone. That's part of our speed tech. No, the reason why that happens is I actually started getting a lot of crashes in this game. I actually lost multiple world record paces to the green crashing. So to deal with that, I actually put all my settings down to the lowest graphical settings, which, among other things, actually makes your draw distance in the game very, very small. So every time the truck gets a bit further away from you, it just disappears. And okay, now really is the end of chapter 9. And we're going to start this chapter with a lot of cutscene skips, and actually the very last upgrade sequence in the game. So this is a good time if there's any donations or you just want to shout out again the charity, please go ahead and do so now.
We have no new donations, but again, as BigNoNo just said there, If you would like to donate, if you go to the Tiltify link, Damien's back in the chat as well. Welcome back, Damien. Can you post the link to the Tiltify page for us in the chat, Damien, whilst you're there? And if anybody does want to donate, please go to the Tiltify link. Damien has posted it just there for us now in the chat. There are incentives as well. Now, I did accidentally make a mistake, and I will just correct this. Carolyn's donation earlier did go towards a karaoke showcase, so we now have £10 donated towards that. We need £100 donated towards a karaoke showcase to see it at the end of this run. So if you would like to see that, please do donate, because all the donations go to a fantastic cause. It all goes to EveryoneCan directly. And our goal by the end of the marathon is to reach £500. EveryoneCan are a fantastic charity. They help disabled kids get into games using custom gaming peripherals, and they are truly fantastic in what they do, and they help so many people. So please, if you can, please donate, because it all helps, and it goes to a fantastic cause. We're going to carry on. Let's watch the Yakuza Kiwami run, and let's carry on watching it without me talking over it. Let's watch this again, shall we?
Yeah, I just want to say, really, karaoke is one of the Yakuza karaoke. Everyone loves it. Everyone knows it's amazing. We all in the Yakuza speedrunning community, we all regret the fact that every instance of karaoke in these games is skippable, because that means we never actually get to show the karaoke off during the run. So I would really love the chance to show some karaoke here. One of the songs I'm going to do actually has Kiryu talk about the challenges faced by the working man in our world as he pulls these two massive turnips from the ground. So if that doesn't get you wanting to donate, then I don't know what will. But at any rate, at this point, we need to find our friends Shinji and Reina, who are being hunted by Nishiki's men. And we do this by following these really... Oh my god, why do these guys have to be there? That is so... I don't think I can go around those guys. I'm gonna risk it. No! I get stuck in geometry! Stop it! Alright, once you talk to the NPC, they're despawn, then it's fine, but that was... Alright, we're good. As I was saying, you find Shinji and Reina by following these massive blood stains, which are really funny to me, because it's a lot of blood, a lot of blood, but it's very intermittent bleeding, so not really sure what's going on there, but there you go. At any rate. The rest of this chapter is also just one big set piece where we use many guns. So I'm going to switch back to Brawler here just to get back here. I want to go past the knife thrower. There's a riskier strat you can do by just standing still, pretty much there and shooting. But it's very inconsistent, and it doesn't really save all that much time. So sometimes we don't want to use our ammo, sometimes we want to use the enemy's ammo. So we're gonna shoot this guy and grab his gun, and then we shoot 1, 2, 3, 4. Throw your gun at the guy with the sofa, shoot him twice, and that takes care of that. This, by the way, is something I've actually found out recently. You can hear that we got shot from the background there. There's actually a gunman to the side, and we always thought that you have to take him down in this run. But it turns out that no, you can actually completely ignore him, and that actually saves a good few seconds. So I can still technically gold this chapter if I play well. Yeah, here we're also, we took care of these enemies and got teleported basically to where they were when we shot them, so we could just pick up that gun right from the get-go and use it ourselves, which is cool. Take care of these guys. Coming up, there's going to be a gun guy that we do have to deal with, but I'm not going to use a combo on him. I'm actually going to use a throw. that's a bit slower, but if you use a combo on the gun guys, it almost always despawns their guns. Meaning I wouldn't have been able to do this. Just shoot the guy from the other end of the room, which does save a lot of time. And that's very cool. Similarly here, I'm gonna shoot this guy with the gun. Go here, shoot twice, then go downstairs. And 4 shots in that gun, 2 guys we shot in that last section, 2 guys here. How very fitting. And again, 4 shots, 4 guys. This game knows what it's doing. I always shoot that guy from 0 range because I have a bad experience with anything with like sloped ground in this game makes weapon usage very dubious. So sometimes if an enemy is like up a staircase or something, it's very difficult to actually hit them with weapons. So there you go. I shoot this guy even though he's a boss and therefore doesn't really take a lot of damage from guns. I do shoot him still for 2 reasons, or rather because 2 things would happen. Either the bullet hits him, doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does stagger him, or he dodges the shot. Either way, it makes it much easier for me to grab him after the shot, so it's still very useful, even though it doesn't do a lot of damage. And now we need to deal with Arcee, who was an absolute nightmare in my casual playthrough, and I'm sure in many others as well. And we take care of his guys very quickly with our shotgun, and we take care of him very quickly with our Goemon. And this is actually the strength of Climax Heat at full health. Like the full health, I actually don't even think you need to be full health to take him down with the Goemon. It's just having all that Climax Heat that makes you do so much damage. Normally he's really hard to deal with. There's multiple phases to the fight. He shoots you a lot. He has all these Gankata moves that he does. It's actually kind of cool. It's kind of a cool fight, but it can also be very frustrating. Okay, so what happened at the end of the chapter there is Shinji and Reina both died. Very sad, both because, of course, they died, but also because Shinji was our contact with Kazama, with our boss, who had to go underground because people are trying to assassinate him. So now we have no way of contacting Kazama. So we need to talk to Shinji's girlfriend, who actually knows how to reach Kazama. Problem is, she works at an exclusive club called Shangri-La that we need a membership card to get into. And there's actually a woman by the name of Shinmei who is willing to give us such a membership card, but only if we get her a fake passport so she can stay in the country. Shinmei is an illegal immigrant who has to take care of herself and her younger brother. It's actually a really nice sequence where the game tries to expose you to the plight of immigrants in Japan. And it's very cool, but unfortunately in the run itself, this chapter is absolutely dire. This is... I think no one running this game would disagree that this is the most boring episode of the run, and we are going to do a lot of walking around before anything interesting happens. So if there is something to say in terms of donations or the charity, please say it now. Feel free to interrupt me in any time during this chapter, because it's really... there's really not a lot to say here.
We don't have any new donations in. The total currently stands at £37, but I have put in the chat about the karaoke showcase, so I am going to talk about it now on stream for you all. So we would like to see the karaoke showcase, and we've only got £90 left to raise. So if you guys do want to see that in the chat, don't forget, please go and donate at the Tiltify link, which is available if you click the Everyone Can link down in the panels below, or it does come up in the chat periodically as one of us moderators post it in there as well. If you go to targets on the Tiltify page and then you just scroll down, I think it might be right at the bottom actually, or it might be right at the top. It's either one of the two, or it'll be somewhere in that list, and it's called Karaoke Showcase. If you click on that, and then you can donate however much you like for it, and all the proceeds will go direct to EveryoneCan as well, regardless of how you donate. As long as you go through that link, it goes directly to EveryoneCan. So please do donate if you can, because it all helps. And we get to see some cool things too, like the karaoke showcase, which will be happening at the end of this run if we raise £100 for that. So please go and donate if you can. EveryoneCan are a fantastic charity. They're based in Manchester. They have a gaming centre there, and they help disabled kids get into gaming using custom gaming peripherals.
Yeah, please do. Like I said, the Yakuza Karaoke is always a good time. These games, as serious as they are in the main story, and there's a lot of memes about how, like, Yakuza, the main story is always very dramatic and intense, and there's all these tragic things happening, and then you go to the side content, and it's all like really weird and off the wall humor, and the karaoke is one of the best exemplars of that. It's just Yakuza Karaoke is always a joy. Alright, so thankfully we're almost done with this extended walking section. There was a fight in the park before, but it's really one of the least interesting fights in the run. Just a heat swing and some swords. It's sort of like a less interesting version of the same fight from the end of Chapter 7. Chapter 11, I also have like a special vendetta against it, because in my world record run, I lose about 45 seconds in this chapter. One to a really unfortunately placed fight spawn, and the other to some bad RNG later in the run, which I'll point out when it becomes relevant. Please don't catch up to me, fight spawn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But yeah, because Pink Street has so many fight spawns and sub-stories on it, and we go back and forth on this street so many times in this chapter, it just really increases the likelihood that you're going to get caught by something and lose a lot of time, which, yeah, is unfortunate, is very unfortunate. So at this point, we went back to Shinmei and gave her the fake passport that we got her, and she confesses that she actually doesn't have a membership card. She just wanted us to get her the passport. Kiryu, being a good guy, realizes the situation she's in and still gives her the passport. And she says that she actually has an ex-customer who might be willing to, as a favor to her, to give us his membership card, which he is willing to do for a whopping 300,000 yen. So this is a big part of why we need to route so much money into the run. Between the guns and the membership card and some other things we buy over the course of the run, we need a lot of money. So this part of the game actually has a ton of fight spawns in it typically. I'm actually going to bump into this guy, who is a fight spawn. The reason why I do that, and I still haven't talked about this, but the thing with Yakuza is you can only have one fight spawn aggro on you at any given time. So these guys, they were actually a fight spawn, but they didn't aggro onto me because there was already a fight spawn aggroed onto me from before. So if you see a single guy like that you can aggro and is easy to avoid, it can sometimes be a good way to make sure you don't get any other fight spawns that are harder to avoid. So that's one technique we use to avoid fight spawns. So now this weird pier section, Majima tells us to go randomly to come to the pier, where we are to fight these members of the Dojima family. And Majima, bless his soul, he tried to help here, but this is actually more harm than good what he did there. Because I need to charge through this guy and then go aim on him. So we are done with this fight, but then, oh my god, oh no, tragedy. Majima gets shot and just goes right into the drink. Yeah, and Kiryu sees this, sees Majima getting shot, falling into the water, and he's like, huh, well anyway, I should go back to Kamurocho. Just completely cold-blooded. Very uncharacteristic. So this whole sequence is very, very strange, and my personal theory is the reason why this happened. So, as we're going to see soon, in the next cutscene we see Majima, he has this big cast over his stomach, and this also happens in the original game. The thing is, in the original game, you don't see Majima... oh, I don't need a taxi, sorry. In the original game, you don't see Majima until this upcoming fight, starting from, like, the batting cages fight that we had in Chapter 5. So... The theory there is that, like, he takes a knife for Kiryu in Chapter 5, and that just takes him out of commission until this chapter. But in this game, they couldn't do that, obviously, because Yakuza Kiwami has the Majima Everywhere system, and you can't just disable it for half the game. So my theory is they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with that, and they didn't quite understand how to get around it in this game. So they just added that fight very late in development, which is why, like, it doesn't have a proper cutscene and it looks so weird. That's my theory, that it's just a way to, like, cover that plot hole that they had to do very haphazardly and very late in development. At any rate, yeah, Majima and his boys attack Shangri-La, and we are going to have to deal with them now. So, first thing we do, coming up, we're confronted by this jolly group of people. We could just skip these enemies, but I'm actually going to shoot them. And the reason why I do that is because that completely fills up our heat bar, which allows us to use this heat move and another one on two enemies with sofas. Enemies with sofas, like a very a big serious trope. That's how the game, like, prevents you from running past a lot of enemies. Luckily, we can just deal with these guys each with a single heat move. So that's why we need the shotgun burst there. And now everyone's favorite boy is back once more, Majima, for his hopefully final appearance in the run. He can actually appear once more, but I'll talk more about that later. At any rate, we charge throw Majima, and we use the Goemon on Majima. And that takes his hit points down to 1. And now, what happens next depends on the good graces of Majima. We want to see him trigger the... Okay, so this is the bad RNG. So, you generally want to see this Kiwami happen downstairs, and you want to see this QTE immediately. So we got the bad RNG here, which does lose some time, but it's not too terrible. We can handle it. So, let's hope we can... Yes, okay. Sometimes he can stagger you by getting you into a combo, but I managed to hit him from a bit of distance, so we are actually doing fine. And now we finally know how to reach Kazama, and he's in Shibara Wharf. And we are going to go there now, and this will be Chapter 12, sorry. I just said we were in Chapter 11. I don't know why I had a hard time remembering that. Either way, This chapter is also mostly one big set piece, and actually a fairly short set piece. Like, this episode is about 2 minutes long. But a lot of this chapter is actually skipping cutscenes. We actually skip 11 cutscenes over the course of this chapter, including 8 in a row right now. So, another good time for any sort of donations or messages or anything like that.
No further donations yet, but again, as we've mentioned before, please do go and donate if you can, because all the proceeds through the Tiltify link that we do have go straight to EveryoneCan, a fantastic charity based in Manchester who help disabled kids get into gaming using custom gaming peripherals. So please go and donate. We do still have the karaoke showcase. We're £90 away from actually getting to see it at the end of this run. So if you would like to see that, make sure to donate to that by going to the link, clicking on the targets at the top of the page, and then in that list find karaoke showcase, and you can donate however much you want to that. We only need 90 more pounds to actually see that, so we're not too far away. And of course, as always, however you donate goes straight to EveryoneCan.
Yeah, so I used rush mode in that section just to move around quickly, and I also, you may have noticed that I picked up a shotgun that one of the enemies there used. It's just slightly better than ours, so it can actually finish off some enemies that we can finish off with our shotgun. And some of the enemies here are really persistent! Oh my god. Some of the enemies here are really persistent about not dying to shotgun blasts. Shimano also trolled me there, so I'm going to have to use a healing item. And now we are going to deal with Shimano the old-fashioned way, charge throw, and stab. And Shimano is disrespected once more in this run. And that's the end of chapter 12. Like I said, a very short chapter. And we are actually now in the finale. This is the last chapter of the run, so we are about 10 minutes away from the end. How are we doing for time?
Oh, sorry, I forgot you asked that. We're doing okay. We're about 17 minutes away from estimate, so I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, okay, cool. So it's definitely not going to be under 2 hours, which would have been the ideal, but we had some technical difficulties, so it's understandable. But yeah, Majima can actually appear right here, right in front of Stardust. And yes, in case you're about to ask, I have lost world record pace runs to that. At any rate, this is our final send-off. Everyone's wishing us good luck on our confrontation with Nishiki, which is going to start with this sequence of 4 street fights here. They actually have a nice symmetry to them. The first and fourth fights are similar, and the second and third are similar. So what we're going to do to start this off is we're going to grab this guy, heat swing him, and now we are going to use a shotgun to shoot everyone, as you do. This next group of enemies is much nicer. Instead of circling us, they're all just gonna line up in front of us, so we can just go ahead, shoot them, get rid of the minions, and then charge through the boss. And do the same to this group of enemies. So like I said, second and third, very similar. And this last one is going to be pretty much like the same fight, like the first fight, sorry. I'm going to grab this guy with the bat on the right. Heat swing him. And pull out the shotgun again. You want to take care of the gun guy first and foremost. And oh, I actually don't have enough bullets, so that's going to be awkward. Alright, but we came through. It's all good. We don't even have to heal. And I very often have to heal at the end of those fights. Alright, so that was part 1 out of 3 of the 3 set pieces, fights, whatever you want to call it, of this chapter, I am going to want to equip a fresh shotgun at this point. And yeah, we're starting our ascent of the Millennium Tower to our final confrontation with Nishiki and Jingu, who is another one of the villains who, because we skip all the cutscenes, we don't really see any mention of him, but he does get mentioned in the story. So you want to go a bit to the left here, because otherwise you might miss one of the enemies hiding behind the pillar there. Then you grab a gun and you go upstairs. Up here, we're going to shoot these gentlemen in fancy suits, and switch to the wrong style. We're actually going to use our handgun here. This is why we pick up the handgun. So we take care of those enemies. This is another guy who is like a boss enemy and therefore doesn't take much damage from guns, but shooting him does stagger him, so I can just do the standard charge, throw, heat move combo on him. And now we have 5 shots in our gun, 4 enemies, there's one behind us, and I do like those odds. So now we are going to go back to the shotgun, still in rush mode. And same idea as we've seen before, one shotgun blast takes care of the minions, and that's not good. That is not good. One shotgun blast takes care of the minions, staggers the guy, but he did get a hit on me before I could grab him, so that's unfortunate. I'm actually going to have to heal right now. And yeah, we're good for the end of the run. So coming up now is yeah, the last few fights of the run. We are minutes away from finishing. So this is like the big confrontation between Kiryu and Jingu. This is where it turns out that Kiryu is actually has actually become the chairman of the Tojo clan, which is why he's referred to as the 4th chairman all over the rest of the series. So another shotgun blast, you know the drill, and then charge throw on the main guy. And now begins something. This section casually is probably really frustrating to a lot of people because there's a lot of guns involved, and guns really hurt in this time. They really they stun you. They do a lot of damage. They are very nasty. So we use our guns to deal with that, and I have a few shotgun blasts left. I hope they're enough, because we are going to need to clear out a lot of enemies here. Oh, no, I'm out of shotgun shots. No, don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. I said not to shoot me. God damn it. Alright. That was pretty much fine, though. This is a bit of a mess, but we're going to be okay. Gonna need one more gun. There you go. So I'm going to shoot this guy from across all this distance, and it's going to teleport me all the way to the end. Very nice. And that's it. That's all of our gun usage for the entirety of this run. From now on, it's all Goemon, baby. And now we're going to come up to Jingu himself. Jingu is accompanied by these 2 colonels who... They're very weird, because you'll see that the first among them I'm going to finish off with one charge throw, but then the other guy always survives the charge throw. And some people say stuff about like how one of them has less defense than the other. That's not really true, because it's always the second one who survives. So I think there's just like a weird thing going on with Max Crush glitching out, because, you know, a glitch involving Max Crush is like the linchpin of the entire run. So I'm assuming there's another strange thing, like strange behavior with that. But I don't know. I am not... I did not make Yakuza Kiwami. I am but a humble speedrunner. I only know how to play games fast. So that's actually kind of bad. That's the slow heat move. Sorry, the weaker heat move that we can get on Jingu. But that's fine. We usually you would have to hit him less because the other heat move actually takes him all the way down to 1 HP. But it's fine. Just a few extra blows. Nothing that really adds that much time to the run. Okay, so this is the final fight. Time is coming in about 2 minutes. I'll indicate before it does. We begin, as always, with a good charge throw and the Goemon heat move, which is going to take Nishiki down a lot. And now we want to stomp the guy, because going past the phases of this fight depends on Nishiki's health, and we want him to be 1 HP. He does have a Kiwami, but if I time my headbutts correctly, I should be able to completely circumvent it, which is very important because his Kiwami is one of those that actually regenerate a lot of health for him. So, yeah, I'm gonna want to avoid that. All right, sweet. Get the last one. All right, very good. So time's going to come up soon. There's going to be a QTE now, and after that, there's going to be a final punch by Kiryu in the cutscene. And after that punch, when the screen starts turning purple, that's time. I will say time when it happens. Just be ready on the timer. Alright, so after this one last flashback, he's going to punch him. And time. And that was Yakuza Kiwami. I hope that was a fun watch. I had fun running it for you. So as you can see, even though this is uneasy, this is actually a very dangerous run. A lot of things can happen. It's cool, it's tense. I love this run a lot. It's definitely one of my favorites. And yeah, I hope I managed to convince you that it's as cool as I know it is. If you're interested in running this game yourself, there are a lot of guides on the game's speedrun.com page. There's an old guide by Lilligram, which is outdated in some ways, but is still the best way of getting into the game. There's a video tutorial by me that's on the old route, but I suggest people start with that route anyway. And yeah, if you have any questions, please always feel free to hit me up, because I'm always happy to help people with this run. What was my final time?
Okay, so the final time you got there was 2:03:26.24. So congratulations and thank you for taking part today in InstaSpeedathon 2021.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Like even on the new route, that's underestimate. So yeah, considering all the technical issues we had, that's fine. Yeah, thanks everyone. Yeah. And stick around for...
say apologies for everybody who... About the technical issues, by the way, to everyone who's watching. Apologies about that. There wasn't really much we could do, unfortunately. I think your internet kind of tanked a bit.
Yeah, it's just the weather here. I am sorry about that. But, yeah, I assume we didn't hit the karaoke.
Unfortunately, we have not reached the karaoke. We reached a total of £10 donated to it. Unfortunately, we did not reach the incentive. But this is a good time just to say, if anybody does want to donate, of course, if you click on the EveryoneCan logo in the panel below, it will take you to the Tiltify link, which we are using to raise funds for EveryoneCan. They're a fantastic charity. They're based in Manchester, in the north of the UK. And yeah, every little helps because they do help a lot of people. So we are going to go over now to the intermission, and in about 3-4 minutes time, we will go over to our next run, which is Poison running Mega Man Extreme 2 Extreme 100% over on there, and that'll be our last run before the tea break. So, have you got any last things you'd like to say?
No, I actually said my piece. Just gonna say, I hope everyone does stick around for the Mega Man run. Mega Man run is always a joy, and this is actually a game I've never seen run before, so I am excited for the run.
That's good. So thank you very much for running, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Bye bye.